welcome inside the T-Mobile Arena. The Tough 27 weigh-ins and fights will take place down the street at the Pearl at Palms Casino Resort, but we're going to be making our home right here all weekend long. I am Karen Bryant alongside UFC Tonight host Mr. Kenny Florian and former middleweight king Michael Bisping. Megan O'Leary is backstage for us as well. And before we get to tonight's card, the International Fight Week curse strikes again. Featherweight champ and UFC 226 co-headliner Max Holloway is off of the card on Saturday. Now, Wednesday night, he was taken to the hospital after showing concussion-like symptoms. His bout with Brian Ortega is canceled. And Michael, you actually noticed something unusual. You and Kenny were talking to the champ on UFC Tonight. What do you make of this situation?
Yeah, this is terrible. Kenny and I were talking to him on UFC Tonight, and I looked at him and I just thought, he looks really tired. He's slurring his words. So I had to ask him, I said, do you feel okay? Now, of course, being the world champion that he is, he wants to fight. He brushed it off. He said, I'm totally fine. I'm just tired, etc., etc. That's what we as fighters do. But then upon closer inspection, they pulled him from the card. Totally devastating, but he'll be back, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Hopefully they will be able to get that fight rebooked. But Kenny Florian, every fighter on the Tough Finale card, baby, is ready to rock. In our main event, we do have middleweight mainstay Brad Tavares coming up against the up-and-coming dynamic striker Israel Adesanya. I like this fight.
Absolutely. Well, this is good news. This main event is happening, and these are two fantastic strikers. Brad Tavares has been around in the UFC for a long time. He's known for his heavy leg kicks, likes to pressure his opponents, also has solid takedowns as well, hits pretty hard himself, but he's going against a fighter in Israel Adesanya, who's very tall for the division at 6'4", really has a lot of different weapons he can employ, and he can do it from both righty and lefty stances, good at countering strikes, and he's pretty good at stopping takedowns as well, which I think he'll need against Tavares.
Nice, and we do have time on this show. We're going to get into it a little more, get people more familiar with Adesanya. Right. But Michael, on this season of The Ultimate Fighter, we are crowning two champions and two different weight classes tomorrow night. Let's talk about the lightweights, though. We've got Mike Trizano taking on Boston's Joe Giannetti.
Yeah, this is like a fight out of two characters from Goodfellas. So, if I get them mixed up, I apologize. But Giannetti, more of a submission guy, 6-0, 5 submissions on that record. And Trizano, more of a striker. First fight, he won by a submission. Second one was a striking clinic. Looked really good against John Gunther. Lots of kicks, lots of good punches.
The Trizanos have been insulting the Giannetti family for too long, Mike.
It ends tomorrow. Hey, but listen, Kenny Florian, let's talk about the featherweights. Jay Cuccinelli and Brant Katonah also throwing down for a contract.
That's right. Listen, who doesn't like a comeback story? Cuccinelli actually lost early in the season, was able to fight his way back in, and now is in the final. He's going to try to use that judo and boxing background against the double black belt in Katonah. He's a black belt both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Shotokan Karate. This should be a fun one.
Yeah, Katonah also a mechanical engineer. It's almost like he's too smart, Kenny.
Wicked smart.
Oh, wicked smart. Yeah, all right. With that, we're going to send you over to the stage at the Pearl at Palms with our MC, Jimmy Smith. Let's get these ceremonial weigh-ins underway, folks. Here you go, Jimmy.
Welcome, UFC fans, to the Ultimate Fighter finale weigh-in, Tavares versus Adesanya. I'm Jimmy Smith. I'm joined by the lovely Brooklyn Jamalette and Ashley. We get started with the UFC Fight Pass prelims. We start out in the middleweight division, Gerald Mir Shards versus Oscar Piechota. First to the scale, please welcome Oscar Piechota.
There's Piechota, and Poland has been one of the more successful countries in Europe for both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts competition, and Oscar is representing his native Poland very well in the UFC so far. He's undefeated inside the octagon. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Robert Drysdale. His nickname is the Vice because of those very strong grips of his.
185.5 for Oscar Piechota.
And out of his 11 wins, 5 are by submission and 5 are by knockout. This guy's a finisher.
Please welcome to the scale, Gerald Mir Shards.
Well, Mir Shards was actually training to be a music teacher, went to college for it, used to play the saxophone, made the switch to MMA at age 30, been very busy since then, got a record of 27-9, former champion in some smaller organizations, said he wants to finish off his career inside the UFC. 19 submission wins on his record as well, so watch out for this guy on the ground.
That's impressive.
Dana been hitting the tanning beds by the looks of things.
He was on vacation in Maine, I think.
And our next fight in the featherweight division, it is Bessette versus Steven Peterson. First to the scale, please welcome Steven Peterson.
Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series veteran Steven Ocho Peterson lost his octagon debut. However, he impressed enough to win a Fight of the Night bonus. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt heads into tomorrow night's fight with 7 wins by submission on his resume.
146 for Steven Peterson. And his opponent, please welcome to the scale, Bessette.
Talk about fighting through adversity. He was diagnosed with cancer at age 3, given a 50% chance of living, then also had asthma, but then from there, obviously, he beat it. He played baseball, basketball, soccer, football. Now here he is fighting MMA.
145.5 for Bessette.
7 wins by KO, 4 first-round finishes, and here he is in Vegas.
Moving on to our FS1 prelims in the featherweight division. Please welcome Tyler Diamond versus Bryce Mitchell. First to the scale, please welcome Bryce Mitchell.
There's the southpaw Bryce Mitchell, a.k.a. Thug Nasty. Mike, was that your nickname back in the day, Thug Nasty?
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, neither do I. Well, Bryce is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got a 9-1 record, fighting out of Texas.
And you want to see this guy with a bow and arrow.
Oh my goodness.
He
can make one.
He can make one. He can make anything. He's very good with his hands.
All right, well, Tyler Diamond, folks, this was DC's #1 pick. And even though he didn't win in the semifinals, DC really still very high on this guy. He's an NCAA D1 wrestler out of North Dakota State. 5 wins by knockout, but really it's his wrestling that's so special. And in the fight with Cuccinelli, really he basically just got exhausted and worn out by Jay. He has so much heart, but Tyler Diamond, definitely a very dynamic wrestler and ready to rock here. This should be a good fight. A lot of head shaking. Yeah, you ready to go? I'm ready to go.
Our next fight in the lightweight division, Gunther versus Alan Zuniga. First to the scale, please welcome Alan Zuniga.
Zuniga comes out here 13-0, undefeated, although he lost a demonstration bout on the Ultimate Fighter via guillotine. Fighting out of Costa Rica, still trains in Costa Rica. Says it's always good to learn from all places, although I must finish learning and growing in Costa Rica. So he's very loyal to his team down there in Costa Rica. I feel like I've got to stop saying Costa Rica. You know where he's from?
Costa Rica.
The CR, Mike. And remember on the show he was showing he has 100 animals or something. He's got turtles and crocodiles and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
156 official for Alan Zuniga.
Maybe he just doesn't want to leave all those guys behind.
And his opponent, please welcome to the scale, Gunther.
Gunther actually competed on the show twice during the season. However, things didn't go his way while in the Ultimate Fighter house. He's looking to get a big win tomorrow night for Cleveland because, of course, he is a teammate and training partner of Stipe Miocic.
Official weight 155.5 for Gunther.
In his side work, he shaves alpacas, folks. And that is not a joke.
Your typical job.
I mean, doesn't everybody?
He's a unique individual.
Next up in the lightweight division, it is Louise Payne versus Richy Smullin. First to the scale, please welcome Richy Smullin.
There's Richy Smullin, trains out of Dublin, Ireland. So it's not a big surprise that he's a huge Conor McGregor fan, says that's his hero. Might even be less of a surprise that he trains at the same gym and he's making his UFC debut. Says fighting in the UFC is his dream come true. Watch out for Richie's leg kicking game and his heel hook
Official weight
submission.
154.5 for Richy.
Yeah, this is a tough go because we didn't actually get to see him fight on the season. His legs cramped up severely. He never even got to fight. So really kind of curious, actually.
And his opponent, please welcome to the scale, Louise Payne.
Well, we did get to see Louise Payne fight, and he won, in fact, although he injured his foot. Kind of became kind of like a team mascot almost. He was still there every training session, you know, encouraging everybody to do well, to train hard, and a very great, you know, he's a great guy, very motivational for the team. He was intelligent guy, 6'3" for the weight, so he's absolutely huge. Violent Bob Ross
Official
is his
weight with the
nickname.
afro and the pick, 154.
I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah,
For Louise
again,
Payne.
Not just because of his hair.
something in his hair as well. What is that?
Michael, if people aren't watching Tough Talk, they really missed you in the Violent Bob Ross wig, which was pretty spectacular.
Next
Hey,
up in the
I pulled
women's
it off as well.
flyweight division is Montana De La Rosa versus Rachel Ostovich. First to the scale, please welcome Rachel Ostovich.
All right, well, it is what it is. We're not going to see Maxie Baby Saturday night, but we've got another Hawaiian fighting on Friday. Rachel Ostovich, you guys might remember her from Tough 26. She was a contestant there on Team Gaethje. Actually, she fought last December in the Tough finale there, and she got an armbar victory.
Official weight 125.5 for Rachel Ostovich.
So I know she's looking to stay on that winning track.
And please welcome her opponent, Montana De La Rosa.
Well, here's another Tough 26 veteran. And she actually started training in combat sports after wrestling in high school for 2 years. After she started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she wanted to do something competitive, and a year later, she was integrating striking all the while.
125.5
She was a full-time mom.
Montana De La
So very
Rosa.
impressive.
Yeah, I think she and Rachel are both moms here.
That's awesome.
Representing for the moms. Throwing down, ladies. I love to see it.
On to our FS1 main card. We start out in the middleweight division. Alessio De Chirico versus Julian Marquez. First to the scale, please welcome Julian Marquez.
So this is going to be a great fight, but De Chirico already has an advantage because Marquez, unfortunately, stepped onto the scales a little heavy. He was 4 pounds over, so 30% of his purse, goes to his opponent. But the Cuban Missile Crisis, that's his nickname, always brings it every time. Fun to watch, heavy-handed, but light in the pocket on this fight.
Yeah.
As I say, came in heavy,
And his
loses
opponent, please
30%.
welcome Alessio De Chirico.
Well, De Chirico did make weight, also fighting out of Rome, Italy, where the famous Colosseum is from, and that's been his hometown, his birthplace. Has a lot of respect for the very tough Julian Marquez. Said he trained harder than ever for this king.
186 official for Alessio De Chirico.
This should be a fun one. This is my fight to watch right here. Both these guys, fast starters, very intense.
Both knockout artists as well.
Next up in the women's flyweight division, it is Roxanne Modafferi versus Barb Honchak. First to the scale, please welcome Barb Honchak.
All right, I love to see some of our former tough contestants getting some work here. She was on The Ultimate Fighter Season 26 on Eddie Alvarez's team. Now, she and Roxanne Modafferi have actually fought before. Back in 2011, Barb was victorious in that one with a rear naked choke.
125.5 official for Barb Honchak.
And of course, you guys remember, Barb is the one that Eddie used to confuse Lauren Murphy with, and that's became the whole My Name is
Please
Lauren.
welcome to the scale her opponent, Roxanne Modafferi.
Well, her name is Roxanne Modafferi and Roxy. I trained with her. I can't even get her name right. And I've trained with her in Boston. It's insane. She's a very good grappler. She's been training in mixed martial arts since she was a
Here we go.
teenager.
Oh, nice.
That is not
Oh,
Reebok.
look at that.
Go, Roxy.
That is awesome.
She really is one
With
of the more
wig
unique
officially
characters. She's
125
really just a
for
wonderful
Roxanne
girl.
She really
Modafferi.
Is that Dragon Ball Z? What is that from?
I'm going to say Pokemon, but I have no idea.
I don't think it's Pokemon. I think it's
Well,
Dragon
what
Ball
is
Z.
it?
I think you're right.
Is it Dragon Ball Z?
All right.
Next up, a featherweight bout, Alex Casseras versus Martin Bravo. First to the scale, please welcome Martin Bravo.
Martin Bravo, he was the winner of Tough Latin America Season 3. 4 first-round finishes, 4 wins by KO. 5 wins by submission, so very, very well-rounded.
Official weight 145.5 for Martin Bravo.
Came in nice on weight, made weight very, very easily, no problem whatsoever.
And please welcome his opponent to the scale, Alex Casseras.
Well, Violent Bob Ross isn't the only one out here rocking a beautiful fro, because my man Alex Casseras, Bruce Leroy, getting it done there. He is yet another character
Official
here.
weight 146 for Alex Casseras.
Another veteran of the Ultimate Fighter. This time they're going all the way back to season 12.
All the way back?
All the way back. I mean, I know I'm here with two OGs.
Yes.
But
Kenny, what season were you on again?
I believe I did season 1 in 1986, Michael. 1986.
Now it's time for the tough featherweight final. Jay Cuccinelli versus Brant Katonah. First to the scale, please welcome Brant Katonah.
There's Mr. Katonah with the glasses. Very smart guy. He's a mechanical engineer. Excels in both striking and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As I said before, Shotokan Karate and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's on the national team for Canada in boxing. Undefeated in MMA.
Official weight 145.5 for
Trains out of
Brant
SPG in
Katonah.
Ireland. And was a part of Team Cormier.
And please welcome his opponent to the scale, Jay Cuccinelli.
Jay the Mellow Fellow Cuccinelli made the most of his opportunity when he was brought back to competition to fight Tyler Diamond. They had one of the best fights the Ultimate Fighter has ever seen, and now he finds himself in the finale tomorrow night.
For Jay Cuccinelli.
And that was a fantastic fight.
It
Only
really
happened on Wednesday. Well, we saw it on Wednesday. And yeah, it really was. He got dropped multiple times in the first round. Came back strong. Third round nearly finished him. Yeah, great fight.
Now on to our tough lightweight final. It's Michael Trizano versus Joe Giannetti. First to the scale, please welcome Joe Giannetti.
Well, tough 27 competitor on Team Cormier. In the semi-finals, he defeated Alan Zuniga by rear naked choke, and then he beat John Gunther, poor old John Gunther, with a guillotine choke as well. Undefeated 7-0, as I said before. 6 wins by submission, finished 6 out of 7. BJJ purple belt and a karate black belt
Michael
as well.
Trizano.
There's Michael Trizano, Tiger Shulman MMA product. Actually got into mixed martial arts because he was inspired by the Rocky movies when he was a kid. Believes that Giannetti's not ready for what he's going to bring to the octagon. Loves to use his elbows.
For Michael Trizano.
Trizano loves that hat.
he does.
This hat has nothing to do with it being 4th of July this week.
He wears it all the time.
He wore it in the house, he wore it for the fights, he wore it for the weigh-ins, he's wearing it for this weigh-in. If you're listening, Mike Trizano, in my humble opinion, lose the hat. When you watch this back.
I like it. I like it.
Now let's take a look at what is going to be an outstanding main event.
Right now, I'm the best at this. You know, people just don't know it yet. My record right now is 13-0 with 12 finishes. I came in to be number 1. The belt's gonna come along the way, but each win just propels me to that status of being that guy, the greatest, the guy that fought everybody in his era and beat them all. I'm always looking to be challenged. I'm always looking to push myself to see where I can take it. If you want to beat me, you should have done it yesterday, because every single day I'm getting better. Whenever you walk into a new spot and you want to let everyone know who the new dog is, who the top dog is, you just mark your territory. So that's what I did.
Middleweights, I'm the new dog in the yard, and I just all over this cage.
It has always been my goal to go out there and to show that I'm a better fighter, fight after fight. And if I go out there and I smash Israel's face, that's gonna just put me one step closer to that title shot.
Oh! Tavares knocks Jotko down! Brant Tavares!
I feel like I can do whatever I want to do at Israel. If I want to kickbox, box, wrestle, take it to the ground, I feel like I'm the dominant fighter.
Good right hand by Tavares. Oh, he's in trouble. That's it. And it's all over.
Brad Tavares is a guy that's been around for a long time. He's been battle tested, but I want to smoke him.
Oh, he's hurt! He's rocked!
Look at the way we fight. Compare the skills. Look at us. And you can see I'm just a superior specimen. The way I move, the way I set things up, I see so many options, so many openings on how I can beat him.
Hey, good for you, buddy, but anybody who's underestimated me has come up on the losing side of that. Come July 6th, you're gonna see exactly what that Hawaii fighting spirit is. He has some skills, but I'm the superior fighter.
It's about me. This is my show. He's only in the main event because of me. It's a big opportunity for him to try and shine under those lights and try and take my spotlight, but not tonight.
And let's bring him out for our middleweight main event. Brant Tavares versus Israel Adesanya. First to the scale, Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya, a tremendous striker, excellent awareness of range, possesses a variety of striking weapons. Has a professional kickboxing record, Mike, of 75-4. It's ridiculous. Tall, rangy for the division. Been working on his grappling a lot, and again, I really believe Tavares is going to try to take him down. He's going to need his wrestling defense in this one.
For Israel Adesanya.
And I'm curious to see how he does against a tough opponent in Tavares in his first UFC main event.
And his opponent, please welcome to the scale, Brant Tavares.
Well, Tavares has been around the UFC for a while, unlike Adesanya. Now, of course, Adesanya's done the kickboxing, but Tavares says, listen, outside of MMA, sorry, as far as MMA goes, he's fought nobody. Outside the UFC, he fought nobody. Inside the UFC, he's fought nobodies. He said, no disrespect, he hasn't fought anybody. He asked for this fight, now he's gonna get it. So this is interesting. We got Adesanya saying Tavares is in the main event because of him. We've got Tavares saying, listen, you ain't fought nobody, you gotta step up. So it's gonna be a great fight between two very, very explosive strikers.
Who wears the necklaces better, guys? I'd say Tavares, I think.
Tavares. It's a lot of gold.
I'm here with Israel Adesanya. Israel, this is exactly what you wanted coming in the UFC. Main event, big names, how does it feel?
Feels regular, you know. I don't really care if I'm the first or the last fight of the night. Just me, Brad, and the referee. I'm gonna work him. I mean, all this shit is done. I'm just trying to work, you know. Tomorrow, I get the strap.
And his opponent, Brant Tavares. You heard what he had to say. You remember being the young buck, looking at the veteran guys, wanting fights with them. Now you're the veteran. How do you greet the young buck tomorrow night?
Hey, everything is said and done. The hard work is done. It's time to go have fun. You know, those cage door closes. I get to punch this guy in the face.
It's going to be a great main event. International Fight Week is about you fans. I cannot wait to see you at the fight tomorrow night. You've been fantastic.